Cheers to a couple things. Bitcoin breaking new records and the knock on Carbon Elevate from PSE coming out today. I wanted to do a better job this year of actually giving first impressions as soon as the bows come out, as soon as we hear about them. I have not seen this bow. I am not special enough to get one of the bows. But I wanted to kind of talk through a little bit about the specs, a little bit about my initial thoughts of what the new Carbon Levitate Elevate was a different thing. The Levitate. So you take the boat paddle that was the Carbon Stealth Mach 1 and you put some new stickers on it and you have the $1,900. I'm just kidding. Listen, we're at that point with bows where the changes are going to be small and incremental. And I genuinely think at this point we may be able to squeeze a little bit more speed out of them, but probably what manufacturers are going to have to focus on is noise. I think that's going to be the next big frontier, is trying to get the efficiency and high speed out of something that is going to be quieter and quieter and quieter, and it's going to hold better, it's going to be more comfortable, it's going to be, a more repeatable shot. I think we're going to start seeing little kind of sort of gimmicky things come up to make bow manufacturers feel like they're doing something a little bit different than the other guys. But again, I think it's going to be small incremental changes at this point. So let's go through the specs on this thing. I've got my computer down here, so I'm going to be reading while I'm scrolling. Mass weight 3.6 pounds, draw length 27.5 to 31.5 inches, draw weight. Oh, that's interesting. It says mass weight on the website, and then it says draw length, and then it says draw height, 60, 70, 80. I'm guessing what they mean is draw weights. Draw height? Is that a thing? Have I missed that? Have I been calling it the wrong thing the entire time? Is it always, I shoot an 80 pound, my draw height is 80 pounds? I don't think I'm wrong. I think they're wrong. Speed, 348 IBO. Axle is 32.25, 6-inch brace height. I watched Dudley's Instagram live where he was kind of talking about it. There's a couple things. Retail price is $1,900. So carbon bows are always considerably more money than than aluminum bows. The biggest thing that sticks out to me is PSE made in America. Obviously, that's a huge deal. This has a different cam than the EVL, and I think than the NTN. I think this is a newly designed cam. What I noticed is it looks more oblong. And generally when a cam gets more oblong, the further it gets from round, the more weird the draw cycle can get. I have not shot the bow. I have no idea. It may be that the engineers know more about this than I do, and they may have figured out something awesome, and it may work great. But obviously what they're trying to do is get a lot of speed out of this thing. 348 IBO is fast. Especially, it's a 6-inch brace height, 32.25 bow, that's a fast IBO. But when you make the cams oblong, it gets a little strange. So, go shoot it and check it out, see what you think. The biggest changes to me that they've made are the cam being different, and then the new way they're laying the carbon. They're talking about, basically, it's even more vibration free. It's like I said in the beginning of the video, I think that that's the next frontier for bow manufacturers in mass, is going to be figuring out, because noise is a loss of efficiency inside of the bow. So I think that they're trying to squeak out the last little bit of efficiency. And truthfully, a quiet shooting bow when you're hunting, I would find that extremely valuable. If there was a bow manufacturer that came out and they said that our bow is 1/4 as loud as another bow, as the average, I would shoot that bow even if it was a little less comfortable, even maybe slightly a little less accurate, maybe. But I think the noise thing is a bigger deal than we all think it is. The new colors are cool. The stone looks legit, looks super good. I'm not generally a big fan of the green, the NTN green. I don't really honestly like jazzing up the bows with a bunch of color anyway. If you do, go for it, I don't care. But yeah, I like the stone color. The black looks pretty legit. The carbon riser is the same, is the same kind of look as the Mach 1. Another thing that they changed this year is the limb pockets are wider, which I don't know if maybe they're more comparable to the EVL. It looks kind of like they're the same type of limb pocket that's on the EVL. and it definitely has helped with stability. They also have that kind of yoke splitter thing. It kind of acts like a yoke on the actual cables, which makes tuning easier for sure than trying to actually shim the cam. Another thing that they were talking about is this new less torque roller guard, the cable guard, new lockdown cable guard system for greater consistency, repeatability, and durability. I don't know. On the EVL, it kind of seems a little janky. Like the whole thing still kind of moves back and forth, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like super solid. I've never had any issues with it, but it just does seem a little janky. So maybe this won't. Maybe this will seem a little bit more like kind of legit. Rear stabilizer mount. It's a great idea since there's so many kind of different options that have been coming out for stabilizers. Less glare, all new black high performance fittings and hardware for an ultra stealth finish. I hope they didn't just use the crappy bolts that rust. I have a feeling they did. I have a feeling that if it's like the black stuff on here, we'll see. I'm going to withhold judgment. We'll see. 3.6 pounds. So it's about a pound lighter than like an aluminum bow. And John was talking about on his Instagram, I think they weighed it out, and I think that it weighed out at like 5.5 pounds. My stuff that I have run a heavy rig because I guess I got the shakes. Like that's just kind of a thing. So my stuff is generally like 8 to 9 pounds when I'm going out. Like full quiver, front bar, back bar, the whole thing. And for the type of hunting that I've been doing, it's been fine. But if you were going to do like a goat hunt, or you were going to be backwoods for 2 weeks, or if you were going to be, climbing in and out of a tree a bunch, smaller and lighter may be kind of nice. Especially if you're in a tree or a ground blind and you're only shooting like 30 yards. I don't know that you necessarily need 9 pounds of weight, to stabilize that. I'm using the same setup that I've been, which is again like 8.5 pounds. So a heavier bow doesn't bother me, but I would 100% want something like this if I were doing a major, like a goat hunt, where you're going to be back for 12 days and you're doing thousands of feet of elevation change every day. Every pound counts. That's where the carbon would be super helpful. Man, yeah, the charcoal looks really legit. It still looks like a boat paddle to me. Just saying, that's fine. It's fine. It can look boat paddly. It's not that big a deal. Let me know what you guys think. I'm always curious, like what the initial thoughts are on a new bow release that to me is not like there's no 0 to 1 where it's like, holy crap, this is innovative. It's not like going from a trad bow to the first compound bow where you're just like, oh my gosh, what has happened? Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to know what everybody thinks about the new PSE Levitate. I'm gonna keep drinking my Lagavulin, watch a couple of videos on here, maybe do a little editing. I've got a few videos that are kind of in the editing process, and I know I've been slow. I've been hunting and working and stuff like that. I wish this was my full-time job, but it's just not. So, hey, thanks for watching. I'm Brandon McDonald.